One day, someone from Capcom woke up and decided their Hinoa body pillows just weren't profitable enough, and decided to... Monster Hunter now is confusing. I don't even know if I like it. My brain says no, but the jingling keys that is this game says
yes!
Never before has the thrill of getting rare materials been so high.
Yet the low so low.
Lower than my sanity, because as this game has gotten exponentially better, it's gotten equally ethically worse. First, they added in a stupid Fortnite battle pass, then RNG decorations, which you can pay to get quicker, but then they have the gall to add hunt-a-thons that aren't limited by player distance, the ability to fight monsters you need just by playing the game enough, and grip? Can you see why this game has broken my sanity? But wait! This game has always had one unforgivable flaw. Niantic's problem is that they've always hated freedom. They hate liberty. They hate rights. But unlike in the lawless nation known as San Francisco, here in America, we have a little something known as the right to bear arms. And with so many armed bears on the loose, we have no choice but to adorn ourselves with the finest ballistics known to man. And Niantic have finally said yes to freedom, which is why, slightly begrudgingly, this is once again the way of the Gunlance. This tutorial is designed to give you the most amount of information in the shortest time possible. Because if your attention span has been fixed to mobile games, I don't have long. The right side of the screen will be Monster Hunter Now gameplay, and the left will be Rise Gunlance, performing the equivalent moves for ease of comparison. The button inputs will be displayed above Rise gameplay, including tap, hold, forward, backward, side, and special. We'll go over my recommended combos for normal, long, and wide Gunlance, along with some build suggestions. But first, we need to understand. Because this Monster Hunter game is limited to the Candy Crush control scheme, you unfortunately do not need a spreadsheet to play this weapon. But because your moveset is dependent on your distance to the monster, you at least need a flowchart. When near the monster, swipe forward to poke up to 3 times. Swipe to the side or back to dodge. Tap to shoot one of your explosive shellings. After 2 shellings, tapping a 3rd time will use your worm stake cannon, which sticks into the monster before exploding for great damage. Hold tap to block while simultaneously charging your shelling. This will make your shelling do more damage, but interrupts your worm stake combo. So tap, tap, tap will worm stake, but tap, hold tap, regular tap will not. While charging, you can aim by sliding your finger up or down the screen. You can also aim depending on where you initially tap. Tap the bottom of the screen to aim low, the top to aim high. Hold and swipe back to reload all your shellings and worm stake, but holding and swiping back after all except 2 attacks will perform a quick reload, which is much faster but does not refill your worm stake. Tapping while out of ammo also performs the quick reload. Holding and swiping forward does a rising slash attack, and from here, you can either tap to shoot a shelling into the air, or swipe again to do an overhead slam. Then, swipe again for a wide sweep, or tap to release all your bullets at once. After your full burst of bullets, swipe up again to get back to the wide sweep from before, and tapping here will start your worm stake. After all quick reloads, swipe forward to do the overhead slam, which can lead into all the things I said before. Your special button enacts the Wyvern Fire, a highly damaging short-range blast, which launches after a short period of charging up. Shellings can be done immediately after pokes, rising slash, all other shellings, and quick reload. You cannot tap shelling from far away, as tapping or swiping up will move you towards the monster. And finally, after a perfect evade, you can quickly tap for a full charge shelling, or swipe up for an automatic overhead slam, which is absolutely phenomenal for... Normal Gunlance is high risk, high reward. with it having the lowest damage per individual shelling out of all Gunlance types, while also having the most shellings. Just like an average therapist meeting, it's either all coming out or none of it is. The full burst combo is hold and swipe up, tap, swipe up, and from here, you can either end the combo by tapping again for a worm stake, or loop it by holding and swiping back for a quick reload. After the quick reload, swipe up for the overhead into the full burst, rinse and repeat. But I think you can see the problem with all this. In the time it takes for that, I could be doing a worm stake cannon, or shooting my wyvern fire, or making a real human connection.
Go faster!
So it's time for alternatives! The entire full burst combo is still best when you have the opening and the spacing, but if you don't, other options include poking into a quick reload, which has the advantage of allowing you to close the distance before going into your full burst loop, while shelling into a quick reload will move you a bit back, and swiping up after a perfect evade is the quickest way to get into the combo. Great normal gun lances include Zinogre, Legiana, and Pink Rathian, which have great elemental and status damage. Important skills to have would be artillery, evade skills, and the elemental attacks, as your worm stake finisher for all gun lances can pump out massive damage. Long gun lance is low risk and even higher reward. Long gun lance has 3 total shellings, with an average damage per shelling, but it has the best range and the highest charge shelling damage. Long is the my dog is pulling me 1,000,000 miles an hour, but I still need monster parts weapon, because the gameplay loop of holding down and releasing the shoot button with the occasional worm stake really doesn't require that much attention. Great long gun lances to get would be Devil Joe, Bone, and Kushala if you want an alternative to the Legiana gun lance. Wide gun lance only has 2 shellings, but the highest damage per shelling. Its best combos are poke, shelling, or poke, shelling, worm stake. This is the gun lance where the lance is most involved. And because shellings don't do elemental damage, it's great that there's a grand total of 3 elemental wide gun lances. For wide gun lance, I'd recommend playing lance instead. But if you insist, I'd recommend going fair off and pumping in as many raw attack skills as possible. For all gun lances, artillery 3 is a must, as it is one of the only skills to increase shelling damage. From there, you can add evade or guard skills, though perfect dodges and perfect blocking both give you back 1 shelling, but perfect guarding doesn't have any great follow-up. And that's all there is to it. Also, according to YouTube, the average zoomer attention span ends right about